Hello, passionate developers. Have you heard about raising small pull requests? You might be wondering why that is important. Because what difference does it make? Whether you have a big pull request or a small pull request. At the end of the day, it's about the same work. Well, I will show you 5 reasons why you need to ensure that a small PR is more helpful than a bigger PR. So let's dive in. One of the first thing that you can look at it, the small what small PR does is it shows visual progress. It shows visual progress to your team, saying that they can see that you're working on it. And similarly, it gives the feedback to yourself because you will know that you are making progress and everybody can see it. So that's a very good visual feedback. And what that does is it gives you that motivation to, work on continuously so that you don't slack and you can do it much faster. The second thing that it gives is thought clarity. Now you might have a big piece of work, and now to make the whole big piece of work into smaller chunks, you need to start thinking about it. You need when you're because what happens is when you have to break it down, you still have to make it cohesive. You can't have one line of log statement or some two methods and then raising PRs. You need to make sure that whatever you're breaking it down, you're breaking it down into some coherent piece. So what that does is that makes you that forces you to make to think about design when you're writing code. And what that does is your code design and your actual code improves a lot. It becomes more modular and more coherent and easy to follow through rather than a big piece of thing. So that's another advantage. And now this is much better than this in the scenario where you just when you get the requirement, you just fire away on your keyboard to get it done like they do it in movies. The next one is that it becomes easy for review. Now it's easy for to ask review from people because your other teammates or other developers, they are busy with their own work. Now if you have a big PR, it becomes a big cognitive load for them to switch from their task into reviewing this PR. But if you have a smaller PR, what that does is for them it becomes much easier to switch, which means that it's more likely for them to review it rather when it's a smaller PR than it's how for when it's a bigger PR. The next bit is faster feedback. Now again, because you have got a smaller PR, it's more easy for them to switch to looking at the PR, and then it's more easy for them to give you feedback. Can easily get what you're trying to do, and they can provide feedback. And the other aspect of it is once you get the feedback, it easy or is faster for you to apply those feedback. Because why? Because your list of changes are small, so the comments that can come in would also be smaller, and it will take lesser time for you to fix it and get it done. And then what that does is you can iterate fast and other people can get it out of the window very quickly for approvals. And yeah, that's the next one, that it gives less review comments. And then small is beautiful. Now this is from the name because it's small PR. And the benefits you can see is first is low risk. What When you have a small PR, what happens is the number of files affected are less. When this code goes to production, the blast radius of something happening because of this particular code is inherently less because the changes are small. Obviously, if you make a change at a critical location, even if it's one line, it could affect. That's a different case. But generally speaking, most of the time you will find that your risk reduces because of having the smaller PR. And the other thing is that because it's smaller PR, what you can easily see the risk, the impact that could happen. And the other aspect is it brings the narrow focus. Now, why is the narrow focus required? Now, imagine if you're a sun beaming down from, beaming down on you on Earth, the whole light is much spread out. There's not a focused light. Now, when you put a convex mirror, right, you do the experiment when you put a convex mirror in front of a paper and then paper burns. What you're doing using that convex mirror, you're actually you're focusing all that energy of the light into one small point. And that is what's happening with the small PR. When you're putting a small PR, your whole focus is only on those 5 files, 10 files, whatever that is. So what that does is because you have a high focus on that, you will ensure that the code quality is also high. You will go and you are able to find out what the risks are there for that particular PR. What are the things that you can improve, and you can very quickly iterate, or you can easily make it much better from a code quality and readable standpoint. And that is what it leads to the next point, is having clean code. Now, when you have a big PR, it is hard for you to, go through the each line of the file, all the changes to make it cleaner or make it more readable, or to ensure that all the tests are there. There's a basic sanity. But when you have a small PR, you can easily see it. Like if you have one file change and if you have not written a test, a reviewer will point it out. You know what, you need a test for it. And even the reviewer, it's not required for a reviewer, even you for yourself, when you see that change, oh, you know what, I need to write a test for it. So because it's a small PR, that comes very naturally. But if it's a big PR, it is hard, because there could be like 10 different places where you change the logic, and you would have just covered maybe 5 or 6 places. You would have missed some of those things. So that's one of the problems having a big PR that brings in. Now, I have covered 5 benefits for raising a small PR, but this will not lead you to write readable and maintainable code. Yes, it will improve your code because you're following, it forces you to think through from a design perspective. It also, the changes are small, so you can also think about clean code and from a clean code perspective. But then this is not everything. For that, you need to know the 5 step process to write clean and better code like a seasoned professionals. Now, this includes following the design principles, design patterns, code organization, clean code toolbox, and the code writing process. Now, I cannot cover all these things in this quick video. So today I'm giving away free code review session where you will go through your code based on these 5 key criteria. So if you would like to want to write code like a professional and higher pay, you can book this free code review session by clicking on the link near this post. Thank you. Bye.